Guys, so in this video I am completely down a rabbit hole that is lined with beautiful rhinestones. Shout out to Patrice over at Craftable Things, Marilyn at Making It with Marilyn, Eve at The Baby's Booty, oh my goodness, Dimps Designs, and so many others who I've been binge watching your videos, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try this rhinestone thing and see how they work out. So if guys, you don't know these creators, definitely check them out because they are awesome. And I'm just going to tell you, for these, I did order some supplies off of Amazon, just some Hotfix Rhinestones. I got a couple of packs of the sticky flock, so that I can make my rhinestone templates. I did cut the templates with my silhouette. I used the Cameo 3 for that, and I did use a t-shirt measuring tool, so that placement tool, so that I can do the placement, and my heat press. Now the directions that I got with the rhinestones did say that you could do it with an iron, but I use my heat press. And I forgot to tell you, there is a rhinestone transfer tape that you'll also use so that you can actually transfer the rhinestones, and then you can save your template for other uses, for multiple uses, I should say. So I'm just gonna jump right on into this video. There were a few little roadblocks and stumbles because, well, you'll see when you get to that point. I wasn't sure of the colors that I wanted to use, but overall, I like the way these shirts came out. They look a lot better in person, and the gray shirt is a lot more vibrant in person, I think. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and get started. This is the design that I found on Creative Fabrica, and let's see if I can find the designer. This is the designer. But what I did do was I changed the T and made it a cross just by taking a few of the rhinestone shapes from the bottom and duplicating them and adding them to the top and to the bottom so that I could slide this upwards. And so I'm going to click over to silhouette, and this is the T. And you can see what I mean by I added, and I'm just going to move this back out of the way because I want that to be a different color, and so these two will cut out separately. This part is not going to be mirrored or anything like that. It's going to go face up, and I'm going to go ahead and send it to the machine. So I am using the heat transfer flock setting, and it's gonna be right here. Is that 3 or is that 2? I can't tell. But then the force is 33. The speed is 5, and it's gonna do 1 pass. I did do a test run with this on a different shape, and it cut just fine at these settings. These are the default settings for my silhouette program. So we're going to go ahead and hit send, which is right down here at the bottom. And we're going to let it take its time and cut. Send as is. One thing about cutting the rhinestone decals, I found that it does take quite some time. So I am very thankful that these templates can be saved and reused so that you don't have to cut new ones if you're going to use the same design again. Alrighty guys, so this is a little bit different for me, but I've cut my template out, and this is rhinestone flock. It's a flock material that has an adhesive backing on it, and I stuck it to a Dollar Tree cutting board. It's like a 2 packs, I think, for $1. So it was just perfect for this so that I can not have to stick it down on anything, and I can use it over and over again. then the other template is here that, no, I didn't stick it onto anything. Maybe I'll find that other mat and use it as well. But some videos I see where people literally just peel it off of the backing, stick it down to their whiteboard, do their rhinestones, and then they just put it back on the backing that the flock originally comes on. So that's an option as well. The rhinestones that I'm going to be using are Beadsland's Hotfix Rhinestones. These are the SS10s, and I'm going to be using the Crystal AB, and I'm not sure what kind of red this is, but it's some type of red. But their SS10 is the sizes that I'm using for both colors. And so we're gonna see if I could do this right, because I've only done this one other time, and I figure I might as well go ahead and record it this time, right? And so I do have some jars that I'm gonna transfer my rhinestones into, and hopefully I won't be spilling them all over the place. But I'm just gonna pour them in here. And you know what I really want to do, because I'm getting ahead of myself, I want to tape the sides of the placemat down so it doesn't shift around. So I'm going to do that, and I'm not going to use a whole lot of painter's tape, just a little bit. Y'all know me, and I love some painter's tape. So I'm just going to tape it down there on the side, and then I'm going to tape it over here on the side, and that'll decrease the actual template thingy from shifting around. So the brush that I have, y'all look, I got this from Dollar Tree, but it's got like this, it's I think it's a shower scrubber head, because you know at $1.25 you have to buy the scrubbing heads or the mop heads or whatever separate from the actual stick and or handle, whatever you call it. And so I just bought a couple of these because I thought all these would work perfectly, or at least they look like a lot of the fuzzy brushes that some of the people that I follow use. So this came from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to go in a circular motion to try to spread these in and see if this works fast. And that actually looks good. I'm going to put a little bit more on here just to try to get it covered, because we're going to have to clean up anyhow, right? And I've seen where going in a circular motion helps instead of trying to go back and forth. So we will see if that does it. And I could tell there are a few spots where I missed a rhinestone or two. But going in a circle does seem to make sense with this. I'll just put a few more over here. There was a clear crystal rhinestone, but I think I like this here AB better because it kind of picks up different little colors throughout the stone. And let me get some more over there. Oh, I've got some pieces in the middle here as well that need to get covered. I didn't pay attention to that. And this is a whole lot easier than actually hand placing rhinestones one by one, because I'll tell you what, and I'll show you in a minute, when I first wanted to try rhinestones, before I started watching everybody's videos, I thought I needed to just use that little wand thing that you put rhinestones down one by one. And I was thinking, how in the world are people selling shirts for less than $100 if they're putting these doggone things on one by one? But that's not how they're doing it. So this is a lot easier. Now I'm sure over time I'll get better at this. And I've got some tweezers somewhere so that I can put some back in place as they come out, if I need to do that. And the first time I did this, it took me 40 minutes just to get the rhinestones into the template. So I was not happy with that, and I was thinking like, yeah, I'm not about to do this. But I realized if you put a bunch of the rhinestones down, it increases your percentage of rhinestones going in and falling flat the way they need to. And it's not as bad when you really think about it. Okay, let me just sit these down because I could see myself just dropping all of those. And I really just want to reach in there and flip them. But I'm going to start brushing them away now so that I can see what areas need one. And I do have a wax pencil as well. Now, I'm not gonna lie and say this is the first time I'm doing this, but this is the second time that I've done this. So give me some tips if you are doing rhinestones regularly that might be able to make this a lot easier or quicker. Because as I try to brush these away, I am brushing some out. And I'll be honest with you, I don't mind just going back and placing them in there. Just for the sake of not brushing extra ones out, constantly trying to brush back and forth. And that looks pretty decent. This seems like a great alternative to, you know how sometimes you get that one person that wants everything to be embroidered because they want it to be, you know, just a little bit of a higher standard or whatever. I don't know how to describe it, but this is a good alternative for, you know, embroidery, although I don't know that I would want to personalize with rhinestones, because that would be cutting a different template every time. I don't know. Maybe for like a custom order that there were more than just one, but not just like a one-off. No, absolutely not. Okay, so this is taking a little bit of time, but not too bad. I mean, I don't think it's too bad. Can I zoom in closer? And I'm hoping you all can actually see it, because the design says faith over fear. And so the T, I was gonna say the TH, the T is actually a cross. It wasn't originally a cross. I played with it in silhouette and added a few more lines and so that I could, you know, stretch it out without actually resizing. I made it bigger by adding to it. That's how I should put it. But I made the T across just to make it a little bit different from the original design. And I'm going to go ahead and brush these things up. This is taking a little bit longer than I thought it would, but it's not too bad. Okay, I had to set the tripod back down because I had actually picked it up when I was trying to show you all how the image looks. I'm gonna stop watching other people's YouTube channels because y'all be doing too many crafts for me, and I watched someone doing a tuffing, the process of basically creating rugs. And I was like, oh, that is so cool. But I had to scroll on because that was just too interesting for me. Okay, so I already know that there are some rhinestones that I'm gonna have to just manually try to stick in place, and I'm okay with that because I don't want to sit here and keep on trying to brush and brush, because I could see myself brushing more out than I really have to. I don't want to keep trying to brush to get them back in place. Except for that one, because that one went in. Oh, goodness. And that one too. And as I'm going over this, I'm just really trying to look to see if there are any that are doubled over each other. Like, I don't want to have two rhinestones sitting next to each other, because only one is going to actually work correctly or press. And speaking of press, I forgot to turn my heat press on. I'll do that in a minute. And so I'm just going in trying to brush them in place after I said that I would just use the tongs or whatever and put them in place. Not tongs, tweezers. Is that what they're called? Okay. And sorry for getting quiet on you all here and there. But this is one of those things, like, if you like doing puzzles, you could probably sit and do rhinestones very easily, because you're putting everything in its place when they'll go. I don't know where that one went. Oh, there it goes. Yep, we'll get back to that side. Let's clean up over here. Okay. It's coming along pretty good. I'm not paying attention to the time, so I'm not sure how long this is taking, but I'll see when I play the video back. Where did that go? There, okay. That looks good. Up there's a stray. See if we could pull you up into here. Where'd it go? Okay. And got one right there that needs one. Just gonna slide that in there. And I am just manually going through trying to feel and see if anything is, like right here, there's an extra one. So I'm just gonna slide that out of place. And I guess you could use your tweezers. I'm just like, I'm here. Or the wax pencil that is over in that stack of things. Is there something right there? Yeah, it's just a different color looking. I think I have rhinestones everywhere. Huh, there's an extra here, an extra there. Oh, there's a few extra, good grief. Okay, I like that. That is so pretty. It's an extra up there. Can you all see this? I'm hoping that you can see this good. And look, I hope I don't drop it or sneeze or anything crazy. That would be terrible. But I just want to double check before I get the transfer tape out. I want to make sure that I have a rhinestone in every spot and I don't have any extra hanging around. And I'm just going to brush this away just because when I get the transfer tape out, and it is a specific transfer tape that is for rhinestones. I cannot think of what it's called right now, but I got all of my supplies off of Amazon because I was just like, okay, I want to do these rhinestones and I want to do them fast. And you know, Amazon can get stuff to you pretty much 5 hours later. So if this is something that I do decide that I want to do regularly, I'll have to start looking for some other suppliers. And I've got suppliers in mind. I really do. And so I'll just have to check them out if this is something I decide to add to my ventures and creations. Let's see, can I turn that over? Yeah, there you go. Let's see here. I think that looks good, and if not, hopefully I'll be able to catch it before I actually go to press it. And so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to peel the transfer tape, and I'm calling it transfer tape. It does have a specific name, but it's essentially a rhinestone transfer tape, right? Okay, and I'm going to keep the backing because I want to try to reuse it, and I probably should have swept up my extra rhinestones, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to curve this in. No, I'm going to sweep up those extra rhinestones. Let me sit that over there and try to keep it from sticking to anything. And I'm going to sweep these extra rhinestones just out of the way so that I don't get them caught up on the transfer tape. That's what I need to do. And they are rolling. Why are they rolling? Okay. And let's see here. I just want to sweep these away. And maybe I won't get all of them out of the way, but I at least don't want to have a whole bunch of rhinestones stuck to the transfer tape that aren't supposed to be getting pressed. Okay, so maybe that'll work. Okay, that's there. Now, the transfer tape, I am going to curve it like a U. Let me get this one out the way. This is why I'm always looking. But I'm going to curve the transfer tape kind of like a U in the middle. And I'm going to lay it down in the center and let it go down outwards. Okay, that makes sense. And I don't know that it's necessary to actually press down on it. It's probably sticky enough to where it's going to pick up on it anyhow, but I just want to be sure. And so now I'm going to pull it up just to make sure I'm catching each one, because I see some of them aren't sticking immediately while some of the ones on the outside are. And I'm not going to worry about the ones from the outside. I can always take those off. They're not a whole bunch. But I am glad to see that all of the ones for the actual design stuck. Oh, goodness gracious. I am glad of that. So now it's upside down. The sticky side is facing up. And I'm just going to go through and try to pluck all these extra stray rhinestones off. And I'll get those put up. And I won't bore you all with this. I'll get this here cleaned up. I'm going to put the design back on the transfer tape until I'm ready for it, because then I want to clean this up and get set up for the second color, which will be the color for the cross. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I got the first part of the design finished and I put it on the backing that the transfer tape originally came on. And so I'm just going to set this to the side, and then I am going to work on the cross part that will actually go in the center. And so since I didn't already have this on a board, I'm just going to go ahead and stick this on the whiteboard. I'm going to use some red Hotfix Rhinestones for this part. And I did just get these. I've got to open them. And while I was cleaning up, I did get some of my jars out. I told you I had got some plastic jars. So I'll show you all those towards the end. And so these are SS10 as well. And the color is light cyan. That is what I'm using for the cross. It's going to be light cyan. So this should be a lot quicker because it's a smaller area to cover. And so I'm going to just pour these on here. And where'd that brush go? Gonna swirl that in a circle if I can. Okay. And let's see how many we've got missing. Just a couple. And I really could have just put those back by hand. But this does make it a whole lot easier to know, you're just brushing the majority of them in place. Makes it a whole lot easier and less stressful. And I'm gonna brush all of those over that way so that they are out of the way. And I'm gonna put that back in its place. And let's see here. Put that back over there. And I do have a wax pencil somewhere, and I don't know that I will ever use it. It's in the package that I ordered with all the other supplies. But anyways, I've got the cross set up, and what I've seen a lot of people do are 2 steps as far as actually getting their multicolored design set up when they're doing rhinestones. But what I think I'm gonna do, because I've got enough space, I think I'm gonna try to just add the cross onto the transfer tape that I have here. Okay, so I'm gonna try to I'm gonna pull this off of the backing for now and try to be careful not to let it stick to itself. And I lost a rhinestone up in here somewhere. So let's see if I can put one back. Don't know how that happened. Okay, so that's there. And I hope this works. Okay, I am going to try to curve it. I want the T to be as lined up as possible. And I hope I didn't mess up. I think I messed up. Okay, we're gonna see. because this stuff up in here shifted. So I should have just did this as 2 steps instead of trying to save a step. But it's on there and we're gonna see how it pans out. Okay, that isn't bad. That does not look bad now, does it? Probably it'll be easier to see against the whiteboard. I don't know if I should do that. Okay, I'm gonna just lay it there and then I'll bring the camera over so you can see it. Oh, almost lost your light. But okay, so we'll see a better image of it once it's all pressed. But I do like the way that looks. Huh. So I'm gonna go and wait for this heat press to heat up. The directions that I have for the rhinestones that I'm using, it's said to press depending on the fabric that you're going to be using. It's said to press it at anywhere from 338 degrees to 356 degrees Fahrenheit for 10 to 15 seconds. But like I said, it says to adjust according to the fabric. So I'm using cotton. I'm just using a Gildan cotton t-shirt. So I'm gonna go with, I think I'm gonna go with about 340, 345. That sounds like a good area. So that is just somewhere in between, because I definitely want to make sure that they press and that they get set. So I am gonna let the heat press heat up and I'll be back. Okay guys, so the heat press is almost warmed up, and so I've already marked on my t-shirt where I want the top of the design to be at. I did use one of these t-shirt placement guides so that I could just, oh, got string everywhere, but so that I could just put it towards the bottom of the collar and mark where I want the top of the design to be. I used some heat tape. Oh my goodness, what is it called? You know what I'm talking about. It's the tape that is heat resistant so that I could leave it there if I needed to, if I'm not able to pull it out from underneath the transfer in time, and then I would just be able to pull it up after it's pressed. So anyways, I'm going to take this off, peel it off, and I'm just going to sit that back there because I am going to try to save the transfer tape, okay? And just looking at the shirt, it's a little bit, it seems a little bit crooked, and sometimes you will get that with Gildans. You have to just really pay attention to that. And sometimes you can press it to straighten it out, or just kind of manually straighten it out. Let's see here. That looks better. But now I think I may have to redo my tape because that's probably not where I want it at now. Okay, let's take this. I'm going to put it at the bottom here. And it's just so that I can see approximate center and, so that I can see the approximate center and area that I want the top of the actual design to go, okay? I had stuck the design to the side of the table to keep it from crumpling in on itself. So now I want to make sure that this is centered, and I just have the two edges of the design, because I could tell like this corner of the F and this corner of the H, those are gonna give me a good center line if I fold inwards and line those 2 points up, because my transfer tape is not centered, okay? It's not centered, it's not even, and the cross is not in the center point, okay? This is the center, and you see that's the cross right there. And so I'm talking center of the design. And so, I'm gonna lower that just a little. Okay, that's gonna be a little bit muted. I think I'm gonna have to go back and change colors. Yeah, that's not gonna work. I'm gonna save this for a different color shirt. Maybe this will look good on black or something. I'll be right back. I'm gonna figure something out. Okay guys, so I found a black shirt over at Michael's. Yes, it is the next day, but I absolutely wanted to use this design, and so I needed a black shirt to make it stand out because it faded into the gray. So I already pressed this shirt so that I could get a center line, and I'm gonna use the t-shirt guide to just lay it right there so that I can see exactly how far down I want the design to go. I'm still gonna use a piece of I still can't think of the name of it, this heat tape, just to give me a center line so that I can see where I want the center of the design to be at as far as the bottom of it. And so I'm just gonna put that there and slide that away. So I know that the bottom of this tape is where I want the top of the design to meet at. And so I'm gonna take the rhinestone transfer off of the backing, and all of my rhinestones are still there, thank goodness. Not that I expected them to not be there, but now I have my little crease at the top. Remember, I already put that little crease up there that's right above the eye, because the cross is not the center line for this design. So I'm gonna make sure that that crease bumps right against the center line that I've pressed into the shirt. And I am gonna go a little bit higher, and I'm gonna make it to where the bottom of that tape meets at the top of the cross where it goes over right here, okay? And just gonna lay it down. And I think that is pretty straight. One thing I did forget to do though, and I'm gonna pull this back up, I forgot to run over this with a lint brush, and that is one thing you definitely want to make sure that you do, because you want to make sure that the rhinestones actually adhere to the shirt and not to any lint, because if it adheres to the lint, chances are it's not going to stay on very strong, it's not going to stay on for very long. So got my good old lint brush here. Let's see what in the world am I doing here. Okay, so I'm gonna just go over it with the lint brush, get any extra lint off of there that I can get off. And these lint brushes, I get these at Costco's. They're like in a pack of 5, but they're the Scotch Brite, and they are really good and sticky. I like these. So, sit that back there, and now we're gonna put the transfer on it. Alrighty, now Like I said, the crease of the transfer is going to bump up against the crease of the design where I made my center line. I'm using the cross part of the cross, does that make sense, as the area of reference where I wanted to go down. And let's see here, does that look straight? Sometimes things don't look very straight to me, and I have to hold them up just to kind of see. And I think that that does look straight. And so now I'm going to take this over to the heat press and give it a good pressing. I do have my heat press set at 345, and I'm gonna press for 15 seconds, okay? So let's go on over here. Okay, so this is a Pro Air 15 by 15 heat press. I am going to move that, and I'm not sure why I leave this here, but I do. Gonna lay the t-shirt down, and you want to make sure that all of it is gonna get pressed. I'm gonna use my Teflon sheet to put over it, and I'm just gonna press it for 15 seconds. Okay, family, my battery died on my camera, so I had to switch the batteries, but I did press for 15 seconds, and let's see here. I should have peeled this probably while it was still hot, and I'll tell you what, this is why you have to double check your things before you press it, because now I can see that right here I have rhinestones that are like doubled on top of each other. Do you see that right there? So I should have picked that out, but I think I should still be able to take it off. I'm gonna try, and then I'm gonna go over this with heat one more time. Oh gosh, that one's on there, honey. Let's see if maybe if I heat it up and then try to pull it off, maybe that will allow the glue to loosen up, and I could pull just that one particular one off. Because I really don't want it to be in there, because it's not supposed to be. Let's see here. Oh wait, did it come off? No. Yeah, it did come off, and I don't know where it went now. I should have left it because there's still a little bit of glue in there. So, let's see here. Yeah, it left the glue there. So we're living and learning with this rhinestone deal, right? So I am gonna just go ahead and let's just give it a final press. I'm probably over pressing at this point, but I want to make sure that the rhinestones are set and I don't have them washing off. Oh, I almost forgot. So I did tell you all that I started using these little mason jars. I got a box of 16, and I think they're just like 8-ounce sizes, but they're plastic. They just have a solid lid. It's not like a real mason jar where you have to do pressuring, but it has labels in it so that you can label what you're using. And I just, as I started using the rhinestones, I just started putting the rhinestones in these little jars. I got these on Amazon, and I will share the link, but I forgot. I did tell you all during the video that I would bring these up later. And so those are the little mason jars that I've gotten, and this is the gray shirt that I did not want that set of rhinestones pressed on, so I pressed it with some lemon yellow and aquamarine blue. I like the way that looks. It's still not very dark, but this really shows up well, and I really do like that. Okay, so that is all that I have for this video. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do these rhinestones on a regular basis, but we'll find out. Time will tell. And if you have any questions, I might not be the best resource right now for rhinestones, but leave them in the comments and I will definitely answer them to the best of my abilities. And until next time, you all keep taking care of yourselves. Bye.